Guys, welcome to the fourth part of our second lesson. So guys, today I'm going to finish with the second lesson. So we are not going to be finishing. We will start, I think today for second lesson, we're going to finish it today. So I'm going to mix two parts together, try to finish two things, right? So the first thing, guys, today we're going to be doing sorting. We're going to be sorting. So as you can see here, we have sort ID or name. So we're going to be sorting according to ID. We're going to be sorting according to name. So the question, we have read the question before. So today, guys, we go straight to coding, because on a list box, you can sort according to an ID, meaning that you can have two options: sort in ascending order, you can sort also in descending order, right? So what we're going to start with, we're going to start with ascending order, meaning that we are going to start with the first number, which is small, to the biggest number, right? So now we are going to sort. So this is a radio group. This is a radio group. For those who don't know this one, it's a radio group. And for those who don't know how to add these two options or these items, so you can, if you select your radio group, or if you have and look for items, you'll have to go to properties and look for items. Then when you select them, you're going to see the two that I've already added, the ID and the name. So if you add this on your radio group, right? So we continue. So now the user is supposed to sort according to his or her option, right? So now we want to sort according to ID and also sort according to name. So let's go to coding, guys. So where do we code that? We code to the radio group. So you double click, therefore we'll have our program right here. So then now we are going to be coding, guys. This is sorting, right? So first thing first, when we sort, we have to know that when we sort, guys, we are going to be comparing two lines. Let me first run the program so that, guys, I'm going to be able to explain to you before we start coding. So I want you guys to see what I'm about to show you. So, didn't press the compiling. Right, so now we want to see, I want to show you what's going to happen when we are sorting. And in order for you to be able to understand, because in order for you to know this, you have to understand it before coding, right? You have to understand what is it to be done, right? And it will be easy for us to know what's happening really. So let's compile. I want us to see, I want us to check the list on the list box. So while I'm explaining, while I'm trying to explain how are we going to be sorting, I'm going to be showing you guys the stuff, right? So let's compile and see what's happening. Okay, I'm running it for the first time, that's why it's so slow. Right, so we're supposed to log in. Right, so when we log in, guys, we have load. Okay, we are going to load. So it has been loaded like this. So this is the list that we're talking about. So here, if you can check on the sort ID or name, meaning that if we choose to select ID, if we select ID, so this compiler, or it's supposed to sort these lines according to the IDs. If the ID is smaller than the other, it's supposed to sort. So what will happen is we will start with the first number. The first number is going to be compared with the second number on the first loop, right? So because here we're going to be using a for loop in order for sorting to happen. So we are going to compare this value and this value. we're going to check that is this value greater than this one, or if this value is less than this one. So if this one it's less than this one, if this is true, then we're going to swap them, right? We're going to take this one, put it on the first, and take this one and put it on the second one until it finishes everything, until at the bottom. So I'm going to be explaining that because if this is false, the loop has to go through all the numbers until to the bottom, right? So we're going to have two nested for loops. Not nested for loops, but we can have two loops. So we are going to have a while loop and we are going to have a for loop, right? So we continue. So same applies to name. If you sort according to name, it has to check the names and check the alphabets. Which one is the first? A, B, C until to the bottom, right? So let's go for coding. I wanted you guys to see what I was talking about, right? Now, we code now. So what do we do first? We have to declare our variables. We have to declare our variables. What's the first thing that we need when we code? Okay, when we sort. Okay, we are going to have an integer, right? We're going to declare an integer called the count. It's CNT. So this one we're going to count. We're going to first count how many items are there in the list box, right? We're going to count how many items are there in the list box. So let's look for count. So I don't want to waste time, guys. Copy that. After copying that, we're gonna paste it here. So we have counted how many items are there in the list box, right? So remember, guys, let's take we have 10 items. So when the compiler compares, when it reaches on the last one, it won't have a line that is going to compare it with, right? So we are supposed to reduce the number of items, or even though it's not going to be reduced, but we are going to reduce the number of loops. Yes, we have 10 items, but when it loops, it will loop 9 times. So because if it reaches the ninth item, it will compare it with the 10th item, therefore it will terminate, right? So I'm making an example there with 10 items. So we are going to subtract 1 from whatever we have counted from the list box. So we subtract 1. If it's 34, then we are going to have 32, 33, right? So what else do we need? So we are going to need a bool value, a bool variable called, we can say swap. We can call it swap, and you set it to true, right? You set it to true. I will explain why we set it to true. Let's continue. So what else do you need? You are going to need an answer string, right? Answer string. You are going to need a variable that's going to hold the first line, right? We're going to say line 1, and a variable that's going to hold the line 2, the second line, in order for us to be able to chop. So when we chop the ID, because we want to compare the ID, we want to chop the first ID and the second ID. So we can say ID1 and ID2, right? Straightforward, very nice. So now we are going to have a for loop, a while loop. We are going to say while swap, for as long as swap is true, it's going to loop, right? It's going to loop for as long as swap is true. It's going to loop because already the compiler reads swap as true, so it will get inside the while loop. So what it does, after getting inside the while loop, we set swap to false immediately. We set swap to false, right? So after this, now we wanna swap only if swap only if we were able to swap, so it will set swap to true. So that's why now we make it to, we assign it to false, right? So after that, we're going to have a for loop. A for loop. int I should be equals to 0, then I must be less than count, cnt, then I plus. What do we do on our for loop? Remember guys, I told you that the loop, it has to loop first time, then loops again until it compares everything, until it finishes, right? Correct. So now guys, we continue now. So what are we going to do now? Because it has looped for the first time, now it will loop for the first time, right? Let's take now the follow-up loops. So we are going to read the first line and the second line. So we're going to say L1, line 1 and line 2. What do we do with these two? We're going to say we're going to read from the list line. So we're going to say list box point to items, point to strings, then at I. So at I meaning that is the first line. So now because we want the second line or the second item, we're going to say +1 because we have to read these two lines at the same time. So we're going to say +1, right? Next, so we have read these two lines. So now we want to know that is the user selected? Did the user select ID, right? Did the user select name? How do we know that? We have to include an if statement, right? In order for us to be able to know that when the user select ID, then we are going to code for sorting of ID. So if the user selected name, so here guys, the subscript or the index of this one is 0, this one it's 1. So how are we going to do it? We want to do it like this. We need a name, the name of the radio group. So we're going to copy that, go to our code, then we're going to say if the user, if radio group point to item index, item index, here's item index. If it's equals to 1, if it's equals to 0, we know that the user has selected what? The ID. So there's something wrong. Equals sign. Right. Very nice. So we can say else if we copy everything, this one, copy, we paste here. So we say else if the user select 1, meaning that if the user select names, sort according to names. So now we have already read the first line. So now if the user select 0, then we have to chop only IDs because we're comparing ID, right? So we are going to say ID1. Already we have declared our variables. ID1 is equals to line 1 dot substring. We substring from 1 to line to the position of, oh, not to, we don't need position because here it's an ID. So it's straightforward like that. So on the second one, we can say ID2. So it's the same thing. We just copy this, copy, paste there, then we change here and write 2 because we are reading from the second line, right? So after this, then we have to check that we have to compare these two, the first ID and the second ID. This first ID and the second ID. We're going to say if ID1 is less than, okay, if it's greater than ID2, we have to do what? We have to swap them. How do we swap them? Let's go create a variable called text, right? Text. I will tell you why we declare this text. Where are we going to use it? We are going to use it now. So now, on this text, we are going to store the first line because This is the first line, right? This is the first line. So we are going to copy this, copy, paste it here. So we are going to store the first line on text. Next, so on the first line, copy this, copy. If this is true, we want to take the second line and put it to the first line. So we take the first line and put it to text. Then we take the second line. The second line, we assign it to the first line, just like this. Then on the second line, we assign the first line. So already we have assigned the first line to text. So we can just say text like that. Very easy. Very simple. We have swap. So after this, we are going to set our swap to true. We want to set our swap to true. Therefore, we can create a delay so that you can see while it's sorting, right? So you can use a delay. So we're going to say sleep maybe for six seconds. Yeah, I think 6 seconds. It's going to work. Then to avoid glitches, you can say application point to process messages, just like that. Very nice. So here we are done sorting according to ID. Very simple, right? So we are done sorting according to ID. Right now we are supposed to sort according to what? To names. So guys, because now for ID it was simple because ID is at the first column, right? So now the name it's at the last column. How are we going to get the names? How are we going to go and read the names and compare them? It's very simple, guys. So you're supposed to chop, right? Because if we have the first line, it's going to have an ID, first weight, second weight, date, the frequency, then the name. So you are supposed to delete the ID, the first weight, the second weight, the date, and the frequency. Therefore, you'll be able to read the name, right? So we're going to do that. We're going to be chopping. Now, my stuff just vanished. They decided to vanish. Right. Okay, we continue now. So now we are supposed to chop. We are supposed to delete in order for us to be able to read, right? So we're going to say line 1 and line 2. We're going to read this. No, we're going to say line 1 equals to line 1 dot delete. We delete from where? We delete from 1 to line 1 dot pause. We want the position of the tab. The position of the tab. This is the tab. So just like that. So how many times are we going to be deleting? We're going to be deleting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the 6th time, then we read them. So we're going to be deleting 5 times. Copy. Copy. Then 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the last one, we just need this. Then we're going to say, we can say ID still because we have already declared it, or we can make it formal. We can say name 1, just like that. Let's go and declare it so that it can be nice. Name 1 and name 2, right? So don't worry. So we are done with this. So we can, the first line we have already now we have the name, the name on from the first line. Then now we need the name from the second line. So we edit here, we just write 2 because this is the second line. second line, second line. So we copy that, copy 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the last one, which is name 2. So now we have the name here, the first on the from the first line and the name from the second line. So after this, it's the same thing as this if statement, guys. So we can copy everything like that. Copy, because the only difference it's here on how to get the values. So here, because we are using name not ID, we can just change here, just like that. Then we are done. We are done sorting. So guys, let's take now this label name. Currently it should be when we press here, we must see sorting. Then when it's done, it should say sorted, right? Okay. Then we need the name of this label. We can say copy. Then we look for where we can say if it's been pressed. So we can start here. We can write it here. I think it's going to work. Point to caption. Caption, then it's equals to sorting. Sorting. We can write it like this. It's fine. It's equals to sorting like that. So it will sort. When it's done, after, okay. Oh, remember, guys, remember when the for loop loops for the first time, this for loop and finishes, the while loop has to come again and loop, right? So this count must reduce, must decrement, at the end. You can decrement it here, just like that. You can decrement it right there. So we can, let me see. Okay, let's see if we put the, sorry, let's go to this one. Let's copy this one. Okay, put it there. Also put it let's see. Okay, if, let me see, I want to see something. If swap it's false, then we can say sorted. I think it will work. Let's see. Let's see, guys. Then we are done with sorting. I think we will be done with sorting here after. So I'm going to also do the image. Okay, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it because I think it's a short code. We're going to check the question. Let's compile and see what's going to happen. Yeah. Right. Let's log in. James. Okay. James. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we log in. We load. You see our label, it's written nothing. Therefore, when we select here, see it's writing sorting and it's sorting. See? Then when it's done, then it will write sorted. Sorted. Right, we can also select name. It's sorting. Sorting. When it's done, then it should be sorted. Right. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right, we continue, guys. So we are going to go to the second question. So the second question, guys, is that we are having pictures. We're having pictures of the owners. If you see this guy, it's an AJ Van Veek. AJ Van Veek. If you select this line, it should pop up the picture of the owner's information. So it's supposed to pop up here, right? So let's do that. We are done with sorting. So let's shift this. Then we search image. We're going to search image, select image and put it here. So guys, because image, even though it's going to be small or big, whatever, don't forget to go to stretch. Look for stretch. You say true, so that the picture can fit well to this size, right? Even if we can extend it, it's going to be nice. Yeah, it's going to be nice. So we want that whenever we select any line, therefore we pop up the picture of the person. Nice. So how do you load a picture? If you see this picture, we're going to select this picture. Then let's check here. You see this picture, you go to picture, then you load. Then the picture will appear here. How are we going to do that? So, because guys, let's go. We have to check the IDs. Let's look for the assignment, because I don't know, maybe I missed the assignment. I want the document. I need the document. This is assignment 1. Then to students, demo, debug. Okay, this is okay, we don't need this. Members, we need this folder. You see, these are the pictures. They have been saved with IDs. They are saved with IDs. So we just need the folder. You can copy the folder. You can take the folder. Let's take the folder to our folder. Let's go to documents, Embarcadero, studio, project, lesson 2 part 1. Is it lesson 2 part 1? I don't remember. Then we go to wing 32. We go to debug. We can save it here. It's fine. We paste here. Very nice. Very nice. Right. So we'll go to our code. So on click of any item on the list box, therefore we are supposed to see the picture. Therefore we double click the list box. Then now we code. So what do? We wanna know the index, the line and the index, right? So what do? We say ANSI string line. You can say line, it's fine. Then I'm going to say line is equals to the name of the string. I don't know. I don't like wasting time, guys. You copy this because we are dealing with the same list box. You paste that. So because here we need the item index, you can say, you can copy this, copy, paste it here, then index, just like that. So we already have the line that has been selected, right? So what do? You need the ID only. We just need the ID. So we can say ID, then we chop the ID. So we say ID is equals to line.substring. Substring from 1 to 13. Very simple because we only need the ID, guys. 1 to 13 like that. Very nice. So what else do? We are supposed to load the picture, right? We are supposed to load the picture. So we are going to say the name of the image. So we're going to the name. We're going to say image 1. We copy, say paste image 1.2 picture. We need the picture. We point to load from file. We specify the name of the file, right? So the name of the file, but we want to know where's the file. So we can say from members. Is it written members in caps or what? Let's go check. Let's go check members. We need the name. Let's just copy the name like this. We want the compiler to access the folder members, then slash slash. So then now we need the we're going to say plus because we need then the ID. I'm going to say ID plus ID. We close here, then plus ID plus, therefore we specify the is it a prefix or what is this extension, or it's what? I'm not supposed to open the picture. Oh my goodness. I want it's a BMP file, okay, but I want to copy it. Let's look for properties, but I see it's a BMP file. It's a BMP file. Oh yes. Ish. What's happening? Okay. Yes, we need this is dot BMP. So we copy this, we close that, minimize that, then you come here and paste this, then close that. Therefore, you close. I think it's going to work like this. So it's members, then the ID number, then just like that. Therefore, we'll be done with our lesson today. Let's see if we have any errors or not. Let's see if we have any errors, or it's going to be working fine, or we're going to be having a problem. Let's see. Right. So wait for it to finish. So, okay. Then we load, then we select any. All right. Cannot open. Okay, members. Wing, then straight to members. Okay. So something is missing. So the compiler does can't go straight to, we can say debug like this. I think now it's going to work. Let's see. Debug. Let's see if debug, because we have included the file debug, because the members, the folder of members, it's inside the folder debug. Let's see now, is it going to access it or what? Then let's see. Let's see. Let's load. Very nice, very nice. When you select any, it pops up everything. You see, it's very clean, very beautiful, guys. Then when you sort, you can sort. Very nice, very nice, very nice. So on our next session, guys, on our next session, we are going to be on the next lesson, we're going to be doing the analysis. So I haven't yet designed, but there is a last part of analysis. Sorry about that. So that's it for the loading of pictures. So thank you very much, guys, for watching this video. Please do not forget to subscribe. I'm willing to help you guys. I'm willing to help. So please subscribe, like, share. So thank you. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.